So that was about 4 years ago, and then I got plagued with anxiety, so I was having anxiety attacks. It's something that I've always kind of had issues with, and it took a lot to put myself out and to start a business, but I did it. And actually, off the back of that, I just pushed. So yeah, it was never supposed to be about balloons.
Hello, Greg from Balloon Market here, and welcome to BMTV on the sofa. And as you can see, we are joined once again by Debs from Dream Hire Events.
Hello.
I did get that right, didn't I? Well, welcome to the sofa.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, no worries at all. Sort of a new guest. We've filmed a show already, but the point of the sofa chats are just really to go a bit deeper, find out more about you. So this is
Delve away.
all
Delve
about
away.
you, and the more you say, the better.
God forbid. God forbid. There's a reason why I don't normally talk. I'd literally chew your ear off here.
Well, that's a good thing, actually. So we have mentioned it already, but you intentionally do not speak on your videos.
No.
In everybody's minds, because, oh, you must be shy, or you must be quiet, or you don't like your voice, or something like that. It's not, is it?
To be fair, it should always be, for me, it's always just been about the balloons.
Yeah.
So I want my work to say it all.
Yeah.
And actually, from the very beginning, I have no problem showing up and showing you everything that I do, because it just gives you an insight into the designs that I make. But actually, do you need to have that much of an insight into me? It was just never a thing. So for me, it was always just about the balloons.
Yeah.
So I literally was in a world where everyone was like, you have to show up all the time, you have to talk, people need to know you for you. But I think they do kind of know me through my work, and that's what stood out for me, and probably what I did very differently. But
it's a really interesting approach, because everybody else is doing talkies, if you want to call it.
It's kind of look at me, and I'm like, don't look at me, just look at the display.
Yeah, but it's obviously done quite well for you. And we will come to your following and your Instagram, and you've done quite well there. But first of all, I want to find out more about you. What's your story? What's your history? How did you get to be, doing this in the balloon world?
So I was a store manager for years. So always been retail. So I used to run flagship stores.
Who did you work for?
I worked for like Glacenza, River Island, Laura Ashley.
So big names, retail names that people know.
So I've done like interior design for Laura Ashley. So I've done like visual merchandising within the fashion products, and obviously being a store manager, I'm used to pressure. So I used to have big teams. So commercially, I had to obviously make sales, like make money, but also I used to love visuals.
Yeah.
So I've done like diplomas in visual merchandising. I've been and done a fashion design course at the London College of Fashion. So I just love art. So I literally have an arty background. I went to art college. So I kind of slipped into retail and did it for years and absolutely loved it. And then, as every mum can probably tell you, it comes to a point where you kind of have to put your children first. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't be mum and store manager. So it was all about being mum.
Yeah.
So I gave it up when my son went to school, and become very lost because you can imagine having such pressure and a massive team and just having something to focus on and succeed in. Then all of a sudden there was just nothing.
So how long ago was that?
So that was about 4 years ago. 4 or 5 years ago. And then I got plagued with anxiety. So I was having anxiety attacks. It's something that I've always kind of had issues with since I was 18. It comes, it goes. And it took a lot to put myself out and to start a business. But I did it. And actually, off the back of that, I just pushed. So it was never supposed to be about balloons. It was like, I'll buy a sweet car, I'll decorate it up, I'll do this at the weekends. And COVID hit. Yeah. COVID hit. And then it became about the balloons, because that was one thing that obviously people wanted displays for their children. Like, you couldn't go out, you couldn't do anything. So at a time where I actually thought, oh my God, what a time to be in the events industry. it turned into like, what a time to be in the events industry. So I was kind of juggling my little one who was tottering around. I had to homeschool. I had to do like all these orders in the day. So it was furious. But that's kind of how I got into balloons, really.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love it.
So what made you actually choose balloons? So you talk about a sweet cart there.
Yeah, so I just started decorating it. So it was only supposed to be, I will hire the cart out, but then obviously if you're going to do anything, you're going to want to have it all singing and all dancing. So I thought, let's do a balloon garland. Let's see how that kind of works. And actually it worked pretty well. And I think with my artistic kind of flair, it's something that I just love because now I just channel into it. And it sounds really corny actually, but it was kind of like a sense of therapy because it actually gave me something for me, but very much still mum. But yeah, it was my outlet.
So do you think your background has helped you? So in retailing, visual merchandising, all of that sort of stuff has helped you?
100%, like 100%. I think a lot of people think it is just about the artistry and the product, but actually it's very much about the service. Customer service is massively key to being successful. So how do you come across to that customer? So there's certain things that I put into play, like I will never have an automated message because I just want that first message to come from me. And that's the first impression. And also, my customers don't owe me anything. I'll bend over backwards for them, like, and even to this day. So the biggest kind of, I never really worried about the numbers and the socials. It was like customer service, you'll get orders through word of mouth. So actually when you're rocking up at like display and doing displays for children's parties, well, however many mums are there. So actually if you're giving that great service as well as a great product, you've got double the reason to like grow your business. So yeah, it's really important to me. And also obviously there's a lot of stuff that people don't even see behind the scenes. The balloons are the easy bit.
Absolutely. I mean, business, whatever the business is a different beast to just creating something, whatever that is, balloons or anything else.
Like you're like marketing, you're like literally doing socials is another job in itself. So to keep on top of everything, but yet there's not one section that's more important than the other. So you have to have that diversity and be good at everything.
It's really interesting because I think a lot of people focus on, I want to be an influencer. I want to have this many thousand followers. I want to, and they see people like yourself, and they see other. And it's like, oh, that's why you're successful. But it's not, is it?
But it's not. It was never. It sounds so ironic because obviously I have the numbers, but it was never about the numbers. Like
maybe
for
that's
me,
the secret, though. Don't focus on the numbers.
Don't concentrate, but actually focus on your designs. Like, and actually, so I was focusing on designs to make it more appealing to customers. Because that's where my customer base came from, and it built this whole. It inspired other artists. So actually, it was never to inspire artists. It was to actually build my customer base and build the business. And obviously, the numbers followed. But I actually don't even like the fact that I could be an influencer, to speak, because I'm an artist. Like my job is an artist. So I was given the role of an influencer from everyone who supported me, which I love them all. And actually it's mind blowing. But that was kind of given to me. So it's weird because actually for me, I've always wanted to be the artist, and actually with inspiring a lot of artists has been amazing, and I help everyone. So I always like to give, like whatever you put out in this world, I think you get back tenfold. And actually I spent so many hours like literally helping other artists and actually just answering them queries because I know how difficult it is, right? It's like actually if someone can give you the answer, I never got given the answer, but so I do, so
that's the thing in business. We've had a little bit of that, and I think the world has changed because there's so much information out there. There are some people that just want to be told what to do to run a business. And ultimately, the successful businesses are the ones that just figure it out. And then obviously, there's a lot of knowledge out there. If you want to learn how to create something, you can learn how to create something. But you've also got to learn how to do a VAT return, or you've got to learn to all of that sort of stuff. You have to learn.
And you learn from on the job. So obviously, when I came into the business, I was very new around COVID. So I never got given any answers. I couldn't go on any training courses. So literally, I am self-taught. And my imagination imagination will take my designs in certain places, and I'm not saying what way I do things is the right way, but it's the way that I've learned is the best. And actually I've never even just settled for that. I've always tried to do things in different ways, and that is the whole learning process as well. But it only comes from putting the work in, like hours in.
I know.
And actually, even with socials, people think, oh, like, you're so lucky. I was doing so many reels and showing the world how to do stuff. I wasn't really getting anything back for that. It was just to help. It was just that I come from a place where actually, if I can help someone along the way, why wouldn't you? And that was very controversial. Because I think a lot of people thought, do you know what, like, you're going to give the ideas away to other artists. And I was like, but why is that an issue? Because actually I have my customer base, they come to me, so that's not an issue if I can help other artists. And then you get the other people who are like, well, you're giving away the to the customer how to make it. Well, that's not really your customer, because if someone's going to make it, they're going to make it anyway. They'll find it on YouTube. They'll find how to make it. So actually, it was just about me being really open and honest, and actually it built my customer base, because my customers were like, she knows her and what she's doing, and actually you get to know me as a person and as an artist, and people buy into you, right? So
it's true. I've talked about this before with people about the whole putting secrets out there, and we had some people say that at the beginning, put it behind a paywall and all of that sort of stuff. Keep it, keep it for the people in the industry, and that's who it's for. That's who we design the content for. And if people go out and find it, but my reasoning was, if we've shown how to create a balloon bouquet, and I think I did it at the time, I typed in how to make a balloon bouquet, there were 250,000 videos. And it's like, you know what? If people were going to make it themselves, they're going to make it themselves.
They are going to make it themselves.
But my point is, I did that once. I was trying to seal a shower, so get sealants, whatever. And I watched the video. And of course, the guy that does it every day, it's like, yeah, you just get this, you do this, you do that. So I went out.
Make it look so easy, and it's not easy.
I went out, I spent 50 quid on the equipment and the whatever it's called, the white stuff, and sealant. And I did it. Terrible, had to take it all off, did it again. We ended up paying a guy 85 quid to come in and just go shoop, shoop, shoop. And so I'd spent 50 quid. And that's the difference. There are going to be people that will want to do it themselves. They'll never do it as good as the person on the video that they're doing. Two different types of customer.
Well, it is, and also because I've put that practice in, I make it look easy. Like, I literally get told every day, oh my God, you make this look so easy. And I think it's because it's my trade, right? It's what I've done, but it isn't that easy. And actually my customers pay me to take that stress away. And if you're going to make, someone's going to, I'll show you how to make, go ahead, make it. And then that's not my customer necessarily anyway as an artist. So, I don't really believe in like the whole secrets thing. And I will kind of help people if they need my help, and I will kind of show my whole process. I'm not scared of that.
And I think it's been beneficial to people having this kind of stuff out there, yours, ours, other people's. It's beneficial to the industry as a whole.
It is, but then it kind of, so my audience for me, I was always for my customers, and then it kind of grew this other audience of actually like the people who wanted to learn and were inspired by my work, which was just insane to me, that I could actually inspire others through my designs. So then I was then spending so much time answering all these messages, and then I'm like, how can I protect the fact that I still want to remain an artist but also help these people here? And obviously I do one-to-ones because I work differently, so I feel like a one-to-one, that one person gets everything that they need. So I felt like masterclasses weren't necessarily for me, because does everyone within that class get what they want from me? And actually it sits better with me knowing that one person has taken everything away. So that was my kind of, so we did the one-to-ones, and then I still obviously was very much an artist for my customers. And then it was about, okay, I've still got all of these people asking all these questions about every design that I do. So then I came up with the how-to. So the how-to was more about having a hub of all of the training tutorial videos on all the designs that I do. So actually, let's make it really super accessible for everyone. It's like $4.99 a month. It's a hub of all my videos. It's not an academy. I have no time to be doing all these content days and everything else. But if you want to learn, let's make it accessible, because people are coming into the industry, don't necessarily have like the means to do academies. But then also, it's so accessible that you could be in a part of an academy who are amazing, by the way. All of the academies are absolutely amazing and they can do that coaching and that one-to-one. So this could be then an add-on. So for me, it felt like the right direction for me to go into. So I have this amazing little hub. And I
Where
love
do people go?
Let's
give it a bit of a plug.
So it's on Instagram. It's How to Dream Higher. And yeah, just pop a message through there or follow the link and then we can get you over there where you just have access to all of the videos on all my designs. So I don't coach. I really want to keep the part of me that is the artist. So this was a great way for me to still be passionate about what I love and what I do and also help. So it's... I
think it's interesting because when you said $4.99, a little bit of me went, oh God, that's too cheap.
Yeah.
And then normally...
But then when you look at YouTube, it's like people can go on YouTube and find out.
But I still think because of particularly of your brand and your following and everything, I'd say too cheap. But it's the reasoning behind why you have done it is different. So you've not done it to make tons of money.
No, I haven't. It's come from a place of kindness.
Exactly, and I think that's really interesting. But also to help you because you were saying the same things over and over. So listen, for $5 you can hear everything, see everything.
Yes, I do appreciate that everyone is very busy. So I try, and I talk for England, by the way, so that's why I never talk.
No, but, that's the real reason you don't talk on your videos.
But, so I actually, my style is very much over on the how-to. I will kind of clip together my videos and speed them through quite quickly then I voice over, so it's very clear instructions, step by step, what I'm doing, and to the point. So actually they're really quick, sharp videos, and just any tips and tricks that I learn along the way. But ultimately it's big stuff, but it's also small stuff. So I think a lot of people disregard the smaller displays. And actually it's a bit of a bugbear of mine because yes, the big is amazing for the gram, but actually when you run a business, like your bread and butter can be the small stuff, and actually you make a lot of money from it. So I love small. Like I love getting creative with small. I love the fact that it's accessible to everyone. And I think I was brought up when I kind of started out in the environment of you have to have a niche. You have to have a certain thing that you're good at. And actually, that's your customer clientele. When I was just doing my own thing and I had every kind of niche imaginable and I was getting creative and I didn't have one. And actually now it's just, it can take me anywhere because I can create anything. And actually business-wise, I can create for any customer. And that's what I wanted. I wanted to better myself and my design so I don't have to say no to anybody.
I was looking on your Instagram earlier and the thing that you did that was looks like wings. What was that?
It was just like a baby Hercules inspired #1. Yeah, it's just...
somebody comes to you and say, I want baby Hercules.
Yeah, I love it.
Okay.
But I live for that. Like, so when someone gives me a theme, then my mind starts racing. Like, so I'm like, oh, we could do this or we could do that. And actually I do it a lot. And I have a lot of, I hold like birthday parties every year and stuff because this actually challenges me as an artist. So I think it's very important that you stop and be you as an artist, and actually because all you're then working to is the customer's needs and budgets. So actually if the customer only wants certain things, that's not necessarily you as an artist, that's you like supplying for them, which is your job. But unless you actually stop and create for you and show what you're capable of, you're never really going to show that customer who you really are and your capability. And I live for it. Like I'm so passionate about what I do.
So let's take that and move on to your social media. So you don't just show your big spectacular things. You I mean, a lot of what you're doing, or if not most of it, is for customers. So you are just documenting what you're doing. You're not trying to wow. You are you are in a way, but you're just documenting what you do. That's a very different approach to I'll take some curated pictures, some curated videos. I might show the process.
It's just real life. I'm a real life artist. So actually it's like this is the stuff that the customers are asking for and this is what I'm making. And I'm actually just like making little things to add on to things. Like you mentioned the baby Hercules #1. So I've just made, they would normally be used as palms. They kind of look like wings in that display, but it's just little elements. It doesn't need to be massive. It just needs to be adding something different in there that's kind of creative. And it's super accessible to customers. And that's what I love, that I can create for customers and be creative.
Well, I love it because it's the least impact on your day doing it the way you do it.
Yes.
So you can put content out there without it. So I assume you set your phone up and you just do it.
Yeah.
Then you do a little bit of editing, cut a few bits out, so it jumps a bit.
Yeah.
So how long does it take you on average to prepare one, would you say?
What, a video?
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, because I've just always documented what I do. It's so easy now. So I just have the camera rolling, and then now I've got the how-to. It's a little bit different. So I try and aim to get like 2-3 videos out a week. So that takes kind of a bit of time. But I despise editing because I just want to create. But you have to kind of do it, right? Yeah. So yeah, I would say a good kind of like hour. I can mock all the clips together, like literally. Tech is not my department. My husband is my tech department, but he doesn't do any of it. I can actually do it all on an app, voice it over, it goes out. So it doesn't take long.
So you still do it all on your phone?
Yeah, all on my phone. Yeah. Like me and technology. I'm creative, I'm not tech.
But I think that's the thing. I mean, an hour is probably a reasonable amount of time.
Yes.
But it's also quite a lot of time. And that's the thing that people...
Because I'm a mum.
Yeah.
So like it's a massive account. It's huge. It's a job in itself. So I have that to do, as well as the making, as well as the taking in the orders, as well as in the ordering in stuff, as well as the editing. And then I have to post it all. And then, you can drown in the workload that I have. But actually, it's about having just a process.
You can really drown. And I've talked to people like Bex and Chantal about social media and how it's taken over. You know, it can take over your life.
Oh, God,
It's very, very easy to do that.
Yes.
And then the bigger you are, the more questions you get and DMs you get.
Yes.
So how do you deal with that kind of situation? How many DMs do you get a day?
So I kind of have 2 intervals where I kind of answer messages. So I try and answer messages first thing in the day. And then my day looks like I create, because that's my job ultimately. Okay, so I try and switch off from everything else and create the displays that are going out for that evening. In between, I'm taking my children to school and then picking my children up from school. And then afterwards is the kind of like making sure that they're fed and everything's going on there. I've got clubs, like, oh my God, don't you hate a club? Like, so someone's got dance, or who's got clubs? So I'm trying to narrate all of that. But and then at the end of the day, where most people would just switch off and finish, they don't. So I go and deliver my pieces, and then I'll sit down and then answer any other messages. And then just kind of try and do the ordering in between on the days where I haven't got so much in. But I do feel like cost of living has made customers more conscious. So things have quietened down a little bit more over the last couple of months, which has been quite good because it means that I could focus on kind of like training people in the how-to and stuff. So it's taken a different direction. But I'm just so grateful that I can still create and I can still inspire people and help people at the same time. So it's really important to me to kind of just give back. I don't know. I feel like I have to, because I love the fact that they all follow me and everyone's so lovely.
Does that come from your retail background, do you think, where essentially in retail, in any kind of service, I worked in pubs, I worked in bars, and it was always about the service and you know, you serve with a smile, whatever. And do you think that's just your desire to please the people that, they're not customers, but they're followers? Which,
I feel like I just owe them something because they're here following me for a reason. They're kind of like, I don't know, like just behind you, supporting you. So actually I feel like I owe it to just like, because I do, it's just such a lovely feeling to be just loved for what you're kind of good at, but it's crazy, the scale. It's just like you can never, it's just absolute, there is no words. And I know that when I hit these big milestones and that, there just is no words. Like I'm like, I can't even comprehend it myself. It's like, how?
Well, but, I mean, at the time of filming, it's July 2024, you've got 304,000, is it?
Yes.
I mean, I think Southampton has a population of 250,000. And you've got more than the population of Southampton following you.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
So I want to come back to something you said earlier on about suffering from anxiety.
Yes.
So you come across as a very confident person, you know what you're doing, you know why you do things in business, you know the service that you want to offer. How does the anxiety Has that always affected you?
Yeah, so it kind of kicked in when I was around 18. So I started suffering from anxiety attacks. So like I then didn't want to leave the house because it's really quite awful because you feel like all of a sudden you're just in an attack.
Yeah.
And then I think once you have one, then it spurs on more. And then you got like the doctors are very much like it's in your mind, which is it isn't. It's like a physical thing. So I've suffered from it in waves over the years. It's not really something that I don't play on, but
I'm just interested because I think there's a lot of people out there. My daughter suffers from anxiety.
Yes, it's really hard to explain because I think unless you go through it, like I know that my husband, he's very much like he wants to understand, but you can't because it's like it's so hard. I am so confident. But yeah, I am not in that phase now. It's absolutely fine, but I feel like it can come in phases. And I'm so proud that I built this business on not wanting to leave the house.
Yeah.
And actually I did that. And that's something really personal to me. Like it's not something that I shout about, but actually that I did manage to push myself out the door and actually go to and do displays, which are like stressful as it is. But yeah, I think there's a lot around mental health that I protect myself probably. I don't go to big events. I don't put myself and do these massive content days. I don't put myself under that pressure. Like I just, maybe it is because like why the whole anxiety, I don't know. I don't need to potentially do it. I don't need to put myself in them situations. So.
But that's your coping mechanism.
Yeah,
you try
it is.
not to put yourself in those situations because you know you might have an attack. I think anxiety is one of those things that it's natural for us to feel anxious about things.
It is, but then when you get plagued with attacks, it's totally different. And then you could be really excited, but yet it's all of the oncoming symptoms of an anxiety attack. And then all of a sudden, you're then built yourself up and you have this massive attack and you're like, oh my God, but actually I was just excited. I was just nervous, which you're kind of trying to rationalize and be like, of course you're nervous. This means something, as in, but your brain, there's something.
But there's a lot of people out there that would probably understand exactly what you're saying there about that.
Yes, but if I can say anything is just get up and get out, like push it and push through that attack. Because do you know what? There was times where I thought like I was seriously going to die, but actually I never died. I never died. So that's actually, but it's like when you're going through it, it's the worst feeling ever. And actually to be around people as well, it's just like, oh my God, and you're like preempting going out and doing things and that. But you have to just keep pushing and fighting yourself and it will kind of dial down.
With my daughter a few years ago, she used to get very, very anxious flying. She's been on 3 holidays this year. She's less anxious now. We were flying back from, I think it was Tenerife. And she was getting so anxious. And then the flight was delayed. Well, that doesn't help. So and then she threw up all over the airport. So it really affected her. Yeah. But then, once she's on the plane, and it's just
do you know what? I'm like a bit like this with flying, and like my husband hates it, by the way, because that's his excitement. He's like, yeah, we're going, getting in the car, and there's me being like, oh, we're gonna be all right. But there's things that I do, so now I drive to the airport because actually it takes my mind off of that I'm going to be enclosed with all these people. And I think it's like, for me, it's like fight or flight when you're enclosed in a situation and you can't just get out. It kind of sets. But there's like there's therapy like that you can talk through, and I found out quite a lot
cognitive
with me.
Yes,
therapy, that's it. And I found CBT. Out that a lot of the time mine will happen when I'm on the way somewhere. It's really funny how your brain works, but it's mostly that. I found out a lot of artistic people suffer from it, and also people who are really quite confident. And then it makes you think, what the hell? Like, why am I suffering with this? But you can get through. You can, and you can be successful through anxiety.
Exactly. And that's why I asked you about it because. Nobody would have thought that in a million years, looking at you, seeing your account, all of that. So, and the focus on people's mental health now, which I think is a great thing. I think
mental health is massive. When
I was, it was have a word with yourself back when I was growing up. Literally, have a word with yourself.
Pick yourself up, keep going.
But there was an element of that, and you didn't have the distraction of the phone.
No, but what we do as well, it's like there is no right and wrong, and I think that can be quite difficult for artists because you can be working on a piece and actually having that conviction that that's finished. That's perfect, because you can keep constantly adding to it, and actually where is the right and wrong? Where is the okay, that's done. Like a plumber, the leak is fixed, your work is done. As an artist, there's that room for is it going to be to someone's taste? Everyone's expectations are different. There's no right or wrong. So that can lead in, I think, quite a lot of different like doubts. And it takes a lot, I think, to have that conviction, be like, right, that's fine. It looks good. That's going out like that. And actually, but I think you can get quite anxious in this job without having anxiety.
So do you think having 304,000 followers has helped with that or made it worse?
I think I'm quite grounded still.
Okay.
I don't really, I'm a mum, I work from home. I'm probably just as normal as like Jane next door. So to me, I don't see it. I don't know. If you step into a room full of blue knights, they probably would know who I am, yes. But I don't step into that room on a daily basis. I'm just working.
Yeah.
So actually, I don't let it affect me. I'm still like just Debs. It's just, I just have this following. So I don't let it, be, oh my God, I've got all these people. Like I now have to please them because whatever I'm doing must be right because they're following me, right? So just keep doing what you're doing. It's fine.
But it's really, it is interesting because I guess fame, if we want to call it that, or, being an influencer, whatever.
Yeah.
I was listening to a podcast this morning when I was out walking. Simon Cowell, the Diary of a CEO.
Yes.
Simon Cowell. He's not the character you see on TV. He's just a normal, grounded bloke. And he doesn't have a mobile phone, which is funny. But he has a landline, so people call him, so he's still a...
So you would never think that, though, would you?
But he has had accidents, and he had a big accident a few years ago, and trying to get himself back mentally, he said it was very easy. And he went through periods in his life where it's, when his mum died, where he was just like, I wouldn't care if anything happened to me, sort of thing. I mean, it's really, and I think it just shows that. But the point I was going to get to is that he is aware of his fame, but he was talking about new bands and people like One Direction, talking about how people are saying no, you can't have an autograph and stuff like that, and he says, similar to you, he's in the public eye. If people ask him for an autograph, he always does it. If people ask him for a picture, he always does it because it's the least he can do. It's part of why he's successful. And he's not got too big for his boots. He is grounded.
Yeah, because I just see me as being just a normal person. Like, oh, everyone, I'm like, okay, calm down. There's nothing. It's when people like big me up, I'm like, I don't know what all the fuss is about, but I'll take it. Because I have doubts and questions about my designs just like anyone else would.
Exactly.
But I would definitely say don't look too much. So I actually never even had Instagram before setting up Dream Hire.
Right.
So I'm not technically minded at all. So when I say to people, I'm totally winging this, they're like, stop it. And I'm just like, no, I am. But I don't look too much. I don't scroll too much. I don't really. And I think that's been a great thing for me because actually, yes, when you start, you're not going to be there. You have to go A, B, C, D, E to get to F. You can't go from A to F.
And what is it they say as well? Is it comparison is the enemy of greatness? So if you're going to constantly compare yourself,
you're never going to be. And there's people that are so much greater than me. But if I compared myself to them, I wouldn't get anything done. But actually, I have evolved over the years that I've done it, and actually, I've worked so hard to go from A to F. And actually, you can do training sessions, for instance, but actually, you're going to need to do that journey also. You can have all of the tools and the knowledge, but actually to build that, to get it to a point where you're really happy and it's just where you need it to be, that takes a lot of work. But don't look at people because that will make you feel inadequate. And actually, I just never really, and it wasn't me not showing the love back. It was just that I just switched that off.
Yeah.
I don't need that to be another pressure in my life. I'm just doing what I'm doing. And ultimately, my customers are loving it. So does it really matter what other artists think? Because it's about my customers at this point because they're paying my bills because they're the ones making the orders. So I think that definitely helped. So yes, I have this massive following, yes, but I'm quite blind to it as much as,
I think it's a good way to be as well. When you're building a business, people think, okay, they're successful, I must do that. We've had people actually copy our website, so much so that in the terms and conditions, they left our business name in the terms and conditions.
But only you can do you. So actually someone else trying to do you, it's just not going to work, right? So, but I do me really well, and there's a lot of opportunities that have come up, and I'm like, no, that doesn't actually, no, I'm not here
But you're very self-aware of that then. You know what you are and where you
and I want my
be.
business to be my own brand, like as in like I am creative, like, and I have a lot of like everyone's conditioned differently to their morals, and I just stick to mine. And that works for me. So wherever everyone likes to give advice, I think that's the thing I never wanted to do, is just rock up and be giving everyone advice or talking, because who am I to give advice? What works for me is going to be totally different for you, because only you can do you. I do me very well, but actually, do you need that?
That's a really interesting thing you've said there. You used the word morals, I use the word values. It's very similar. So what would you say your values are that you work to?
Oh, do you know, I always believe in being creative and offering just my customer the best that I can offer them. Because no matter if that job is a £20 job, that means something to somebody and that means something to me. So that's my business. So actually I want everything to be perfect for my customer. And then I feel like everything else then comes, because I have that care in what I'm doing. For instance, if I didn't like something, I would never send it out. It's just that if there was one colour in it that bothered me or something, because I have so much passion for what I'm doing and it means something, it's just got to be changed. It's just
pride, isn't it? You're very proud of what you do.
Yes. And it means everything, whether it's a £20 job or if it's a £4,000 job, that customer is coming to me because they want the best of me, and I will give them that. And that's I want my brand to be, I just want to be different, but I want to make sure that that is there for them, because...
So for people starting out, or people that have even been in the industry a while, they come to Debs of 300,000 followers.
Stop saying
and they say,
stop saying that.
Debs, how do I get to 300,000 followers? What can I do?
You don't worry about the numbers. You worry about your customer base. Because when you have a customer base, your content will automatically come. Because if you've got customers, you're automatically making them displays, which will then grow. And actually your word of mouth will grow. So then that will create you more content. But also just be you, just show. You don't have to speak. You don't have to speak.
I mean, you do it very well.
Oh my God, see why? You just can't shut me up. But no, you don't have to speak. But yeah, just do you and what feels right for you. But the customer needs to see that, or somehow. And ultimately, like, unless you are becoming a trainer, your customer base is important, not necessarily what other artists are doing. So actually, don't worry too much about what they're doing. What are you doing? What is successful? What is it that your customers want? Is it number stacks they want? Well, work on that, you know, like, and actually small is just as good as big. Like, you can do lots of small items within a day, which is really quick and easy and accessible. And actually you can make a lot of profit from it. So,
if you price it correctly,
small
is just
it's brilliant. I love it. It's like, it makes more.
And also, you don't leave the house all day, so you can juggle the kids, you can juggle the school run, you can juggle whatever else.
It's really important, because I'm very much like a mum and my kids are there, but sometimes I realise that I'm not present, and that bothers me. So I am there as a mum, like, and actually I'm not palming them off anywhere, but it's nice to be present sometimes, which sometimes you're not, because you're like, got all these orders and it's going out and you're like, oh, getting antsy and that. And actually sometimes it's nice, your kids need you to be there for them. So actually, like, just take on and make sure that you spend like hours where you're like, oh, okay, this is what we're going to do family wise. Like, this time is for them. Like, you
said off camera about how you just like being busy. You've always been there. Retail, you're always like, oh yeah, love this,
I can't sit down.
But prioritizing family when you are trying to run a business is very difficult. So what advice have you got to people regarding that? Because there's a lot of people out there that have kids that are in exactly this situation.
Yeah, I don't know. I think if you can just time it in, like it's crap, isn't it? Like you don't really want to have to time your family time in, but actually what is important? Like they do cubs or swimming or dance and that's important to them. So you have to be present to do things like that.
Yeah.
And actually that might be a massive inconvenience, but actually do them because it's important. They are never little for long. It's one of the things that I'm like really like conscious about, that they're not going to be little for long.
How old are they?
9 and 6.
Okay.
So yeah, they're not going to be little for long. And then if you focus too much on your business, then actually you're going to miss all of them years and then that good stuff. And kids are great. They'll bring the best out of you. Get them involved.
Yeah.
My son's like, you can't do this or do that. And that character doesn't belong. So they see balloons all day, every day. But when they walk past the display and my son goes, I like that, Mum, then I know I'm onto a winner. So
brilliant.
It's good. No, it is good to get them involved. But yeah, it is really, really difficult.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can only just do what you can do.
Debs, I could just carry on.
I could talk for hours, I know. Shut me up, send me out.
I think we should stop there.
Thank you so much for having me.
No, thank you. As a guest on BMTV, you get to ask the question of the week. Have you got a question of the week?
Question of the week. What to you?
Well, we normally do that on the normal BMTVs, but I'm just throwing it in here now.
Okay, so if you have followed me and you are one of the followers that I have, what has been your favourite display that I've ever made? That's quite a good one.
That is a good one, actually.
Yeah, I'd quite like to know because I can't put my finger on it.
Yeah.
So yeah, let me know.
Leave your comments down below on Facebook and YouTube. Debs, thank you.
Thank you so much.
And thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't, please do. Hit the little bell icon. You'll be notified every time we upload a new show. Check us out on Instagram. Check us out on TikTok, the other one. And also, if you want to give us some more followers, check Debs out on Instagram as well. Dream Hire
Come and
Events.
check me out.
Stay safe, stay happy, stay positive. See you all next time.
Bye.
Bye.